Okay. Hello, I'm Rosie Ross. I'm a creative producer at Studio 3 Arts. I'm also a freelance curator.
Okay, I'm Holly. I'm 24, living in East London. I'm a dancer, currently on tour, and yeah.
You want me to just continuously looking at the camera, or you want me to look at you lot? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just look at the camera, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm Richard Chin.
So there were lots of things kind of personally that connected to me and that I kind of felt. And it's quite hard to kind of put that into words, that feeling, but that to me is kind of what great dance should do. It connects with you in a way that's quite difficult to kind of articulate. That there was stuff in there for me about black ancestry, there was stuff in there about oppression of people at large, not just black communities, but young people, and broader than that, kind of how we connect as communities and how we are disconnected as communities. And so there were ways to kind of connect on an individual level, but there were ways to kind of connect and think about it in terms of wider contexts as communities and people across the diaspora and some of the issues that we've faced.
The energy of everyone had been so focused for that hour. So when it was over, it was kind of like, I didn't really know what to do with the information and the emotions, and also by the end you could see and feel like how much the performers had gone through themselves. And I always find that a bit funny to just leave a space. I always want to like just chill out with the performers and be like, how are you? Because that was crazy.
I know when you watch certain like films, you know, you fall in love with the main character or the main villain, you know, but I think within this piece it wasn't about that, it was more about the unity in terms of like what everyone's doing. And I felt like it was the different people that was performing reflected different stages of where the story was at that time. As a person, you know, like when you have dreams, sometimes when you have thought and you just go off gut, it's like you're talking to yourself, but the person that you're talking to is like another person that understands you. So I felt that kind of like played into it as well.
There are multiple things kind of, as I say, kind of connecting as an individual, as a parent, the themes around childhood and the anxiety of raising children and our well-being as a parent, our well-being as a child. As the piece evolved, I particularly remember kind of in the Sadler's Wells piece, there was a movement that just kind of repeats and repeats and repeats, and that idea that actually there's these things that aren't changing, that aren't moving on, and that regardless of whether you know that, whether you understand that, whether you're kind of connected to your history, that is embedded in you, and it's hard to how we kind of get out of this kind of cyclical thing and this weight. I really felt that.
I don't have great eyesight, so I think I'd love to like actually sit really close and see the performers' faces, because I feel like I saw so much imagery. I'd want to like look into what they're going through, and it's just insane how much there is in there that you just want to rewind and watch again.
The dance, it really kind of strips away this kind of level of hierarchy, and as a parent you don't have the answers. We are just people kind of navigating and finding our way in, you know, often, you know, challenging circumstances, and that's hard to explain to children who are looking up to you for the answers and things. And there's a dialogue there, and whilst you have this fantastic cast of performers and dancers performing for you, there is this kind of quiet opportunity to kind of have this kind of conversation, and it's open regardless of what your experience is in terms of the arts and in terms of dance. And that's when art is great, is that you can come to it wherever you're at and interpret it and find the thing for you that connects with you.
So I would definitely advise anyone to come and watch it, because there's definitely something you can take away. I don't think anyone can watch it and just say, oh, you know, it's just another dance show. It's more than that, you know, in terms of the music, the performance, the staging, the lighting, the way, the connection that you have as well.
It's perhaps a challenging piece of work, but I think that with challenges that brings joy. Joy for me always, often it always sits hand in hand with hard times, because that's kind of how you get through it. And so I think that the work managed to balance both of those, or kind of shed light within both of those kind of spaces and where they intersect.
I think it really provokes a lot of questions, and I think more people need to be asking themselves some questions, whether it's just to do with like themselves and the relationships within their circle, or like wider than that, and what role they're playing in their communities or other communities that they're not a part of.